What's up, everybody? How's it going? I hope, of course, every single one of you is doing fine and is doing well. Again, we are here, and this is the Wine Thursday, and of course, I'm going live from the tasting room of Fattoria di Montemaggio. We'll wait a few more seconds to, of course, give the chance to more people to join us. And of course, with this live stream, we we want, of course, to share with all the people that are, of course, wine lover. We want to share with them wine discussion. We want, of course, to share with them a lot of content about, of course, agronomy, enology, and in general the word wine. We, of course, says that we will speak about different topics every new Thursday, and today's topic is actually pretty important. We are going to discuss about frost versus vineyards. The springtime, it's always like so important when it comes about the life cycle of the vineyard. If I don't know if some of you already watched the live stream we did a couple of weeks ago. We spoke about the life cycle, vineyards life cycle, and we spoke about, of course, how much is so important the springtime, and we have this kind of awakening of the nature, and the vineyards, of course, start, and this moment, of course, in springtime, we have, of course, the starting of the process of growing inside the vineyard. But of course, springtime can be also very unpredictable, because for the most part of the time, especially in Italy, and especially in this area, for the most part of the time, you have a very good weather, very good temperature, very high temperature also sometimes, as we had during the Easter week. But some other times you can have a very unpredictable weather. So in this year, this spring, actually, in this moment, we're having a lot of problem. Not here in Fattoria di Montemaggio, but we had few problematic here and there, but not that much. But in general, in Toscana, in Chianti area, and not only, also in France, they had a lot of problem because of the colder temperature and because of the frost. So of course, as I told you, during springtime, it's the growing season, and we have the initial stage with bud breaking. And of course, the bud at this point they're very sensitive. They are very sensitive to the colder weather. So when you have, of course, problematic like frost, you can have real damage. You can really have the buds that are damaged, and of course, you will have the problematic to the young shoots that are coming out from the buds. Of course, maybe we will have another bud, a secondary bud that will come out from the a secondary young shoot that will come out again, a secondary buds that will come out again. But we will not know if that kind of buds will be fertile. So if we have the first one that is completely ruined, we don't really know what will happen then. We don't really know if we will have another bud that is fertile. And then, of course, we don't know if that kind of bud will give to us a grape, right? So that's so important. And that's, of course, what is happening right now. As I told you, we had a lot of problematic because of the frost. Again, maybe not that much here in Montemaggio, but in general in Chianti area, and as well in France. Actually, Caterina Anderson, which is the person that take care of the digital marketing for us, and she also a phenomenal blogger, phenomenal wine writer. She wrote an article about this, and you can find it on our blog on montemaggio.com. So if you want to know a little bit more deeply about this topic, you can go and read about it. You can go and check about it. So Of course, we will also try today during this live stream to cover to cover and discuss this topic. As I was telling you, again, we have the initial growing, the initial stage with the bud breakings, and of course, again, the buds are so sensitive. If you have, of course, this kind of temperature, this kind of frost also, you can damage these buds that are opening, and you can damage the young shoots. So if you have those kind of buds that are, of course, damaged, then the frost will completely kill them. And you don't know if you will, of course, if when the secondary buds will come out, they will be, you don't know if they will be fertile. Of course, so, secondary buds, sometimes they actually don't develop a lot of fruit. And so, of course, you can also have problematic in terms of lower production. So if they are fertile, you are never sure if they will give you the good amount of production and also the good amount of quality, if you want to say, if you want, of course, to talk about it in terms of quality. So, of course, as I was telling you, it's not only a problem that we had here, right here in Chianti Classico or in Tuscany, but it's also a problem that we had in France. And, we had a temperature that went down to -5 or even -7 in France. And you should consider that during the Easter week, they hit 25 degrees Celsius, as of course here. They have the same kind of situation. Then, of course, at a certain point, the temperature went down, and again, they arrived around -5 degrees Celsius, -7 in certain kind of areas during the night. And so, of course, they had a tremendous, of course, they have a very horrible situation at this point, of course. And we didn't actually register temperature that low since 1990 in France, of course. And for the most part of the France wines region, they of course develop those kind of frosts. If you want, of course, to know exactly, they have problem in Provence, they have problem in Val de Loire, the Rhone Valley as well, Bordeaux and Burgundy, of course. When it comes about Champagne, it's more like safe. Kata is also talking about this. Katharina Anderson is also talking about this in her article. And so again, if you want to know more about it, you can also check out this article. So, but again, in general, the most part of the wine regions in France, they had a terrible situation. And they estimate, of course, that in some areas they also they estimate that they probably lose the 80% of the upcoming harvest. So that's very, 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 very sad, and it's really, really a big problem. Of course, in Italy, as I told you, it's not as bad as in France. In general, we had like warmer kind of springtime, but of course, we can have some kind of problematic, And the areas that are usually, of course, hit by the springtime frost are not that much. So the most part of the wine area, Italian's wine region, are quite safe. Let's say that, of course, it mainly happened in Toscana, or if you also want to talk about the north of Italy, in Piemonte, in the Langhe. So, but the situation is not as bad as, for example, in France. As I told you, even here we had the same kind of problem. We had this beautiful weather during the Easter week, and then, of course, we have a drop down in terms of temperature. And if you want to talk about in specific about the Radden Chianti territory, in the Radden Chianti area, which is again a subzone of the Chianti Classico area, we had in some kind of part of Radden Chianti, a temperature there was around -7 degrees Celsius, which is very, very low. After, let's say, if you go lower than -5, the vineyard can have serious damage. Again, of course, this low temperature will kill the bud and the young shoots. And of course, again, maybe we will have a secondary one, but the point it will be that we don't really know if the next one it will be fertile, and also we don't really know if, of course, if we will have a good amount of grapes, and also we don't really know if we will have the same quality that we always like try to achieve, the same high quality that we always try to achieve. So that's really, really important. As I told you, as I mentioned before, as I said before, in Fattoria di Montemaggio, we were just partially affected by this frost, and we had few problematic here and there, only really few buds. And we didn't find like a plant that it was completely ruined, like a plant that has all the buds completely ruined. So it was here and there. Usually we need to clarify that in general, those kind of frosts happen in the mid and lower part of a hill, or in general in of course vineyards that are located on lower altitudes. So here in Montemaggio, we're around 500 600 meters above the level of the sea. But this year actually we had a lot of winery that are actually higher than Montemaggio, but develop a lot of problematic because of the frost. So maybe we're also helped by some other factor that we are not capable to identify at this moment. And of course, we should also say that this is the situation now. This is the situation today. This can you in few days, and maybe we'll have again lower temperature, and we can develop even this problematic here. But of course, we are crossing our finger. We are praying a lot, as of course, as we always like to say. And of course, we will see, of course. And the thing is that we actually had this kind of lower temperature this year, and it was since 1970 that we were not reaching such a lower temperature. Actually, in some areas since 1990, and if we want, of course, to be very precise, it was 1997 the last time that it was very, 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 very cold. We had such lower temperatures, and but actually in 1997, in the end, they actually had a beautiful vintage, and it was quite balanced as a vintage, of course, as they like to say. So you never know until the end what you will finally have in terms of wine production. But again, frosts are very dangerous, so we are trying to protect ourselves using a few different methods. And how can you protect the vineyards? Well, you have several methods that they're of course applying in France, and we are also applying here to protect our vineyards. You can light up bonfires, or burning just like hay in between the vineyards, in between the rows of the vine. And of course, this method will of course protect the vineyard. Of course, the smoke will create like some kind of shield for the vineyard, and the temperature will remain more or less balanced, and so you will not have the problem of freezing for the vineyard, problem of frost. So these are just like tools that you can use, especially here in Chianti. They're all the winemakers, all the vignaioli di Rada, so the people that created this let's say association, if you want to call it this way, of winemakers. They're trying, of course, to protect the vineyard using this kind of like candles, almost like candles. And I want to show you. How they, of course, apply this method in the vineyard. So let me just share my screen, and I will show you the picture. So of course, these are the candles. Of course, probably they are, okay, now I think everybody can see it. So these are the candles, and you know, they light up this thing inside the rose of the vineyard. So they actually put this thing in between the rows of the vineyard, and then they light it up during the night. So it's actually pretty beautiful, pretty spectacular. And this is just, of course, to create, of course, warmer temperature, and again the smoke to protect the vineyard. Inside there is of course an organic product, and it can last until 10 hours. So it's pretty useful. It's pretty useful. So I would like to show you another picture. So this is again, it's very beautiful, very charming, and again, this is a pretty helpful method to maintain the temperature on a good level, to maintain a little bit more, let's say, a balance inside the vineyard, to protect the vineyard a little bit more. So of course, you know, this is something that it's so helpful, and we are trying to do everything that we can. Every winemakers of this area, they're trying to do everything that they can to protect their vineyards, you know. And again, this is something that it's not only affecting Chianti Classico in Tuscany. It's something that also was, I mean, it's happening right now also in the Brunello area in Montalcino, and you know, they choose, of course, to burn the hay, because of course they wanted, of course, to generate not only fire but also like more smoke to warm up the vines. So again, this is something that many winemakers of Tuscany are doing, and also again in France. So this is, we hope that this will be, of course, very helpful for the vines. So again, we are crossing our thing. Maybe, of course, this vintage will be phenomenal in the end, but of course we should be very focused, and they should be very focused. The winemakers should be very focused in general, and of course we need also to be confident and to hope for the best. So again, as I told you, was since 1970 and Somera's 1990 that we were not having such a cold temperature. So again, that's so important to say. That's so important to mention. We have comment, I guess. Let me check. So we have Daniel Bugatti. Hi, Francesco. Hello, Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us. And so I'm really happy that, of course, you are joining us again. So of course, I would like to say, as I always said during this live stream, that we really appreciate when you interact with us, and of course when you make to us some question, and also if you have any kind of suggestion for the topic that we can discuss in the next few days. Of course, we are actually here for of course for this, of course, because we are very happy when people interact with us. We are really happy when people propose to us new arguments and new topics to discuss about it. And also we have a Facebook group which is called Friends of Montemaggio. You can request to be part of it, and we actually are trying to create with this group a much more intimate, let's say a much more familiar conversation, so we can, of course, talk about many different aspects of the winemaking or the wine production in general. And also you can interact there with us, and you can propose to us many different arguments about the word wine, or about the, of course, question you can have about wine tasting and so on, so agriculture and so on. So again, if you want, you can join us. You can join us even there. So again, we really hope that this situation will be better soon, and we, of course, we are trying to stay positive. So we will see in the next few weeks. Of course, we will also probably update you through this live stream as well. So again, I hope, of course, you will say to us if you have any kind of comment, if you want to talk about any kind of argument, of course it's related with the word wine. Again, just leave to us a comment, and we will be happy to discuss about the topic you are proposing to us in next live stream. So for today's, it's of course I think it's everything. So if you want, of course, I want to remind you that Katarina Anderson published his article on Montemaggio.com. So if you want to know more about Frost versus Vineyards, you can go there, and you can also check the article, and of course read the article. So thank you so much again. See you next time. Ciao.